Rubber match here between Taylor and Goshen as the Trojans won Game 2 by a 4-1 final. And even up the season series at a game apiece. And the first one from Gongwer in there for a strike as Drake Gongwer, the 6'3" freshman out of Wakarusa, Indiana, gets his second career start of the season here in the rubber match between Taylor and Goshen. Second one will miss away for ball number 1. Leadoff man is Brad Stoltzfus. He was 0 for 3 in game number 1 after going 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer in the opener last night. Breaking ball missing inside, 2-1. Stoltzfus, Longacre, and Clinton Strobel, the first 3 up for Goshen here in game number 2 of the afternoon. This one off the end of the bat towards Adkins in right. That'll drop in for a leadoff single here in the bottom of the first. So Goshen gets their first hit here, their first time up after not getting their first hit until the 5th in game 1 of our doubleheader here a little bit ago.
Batting center fielder Ben Longacre.
Gongwer, a 2.57 ERA, has thrown 14 innings this season. Allowed just 4 runs, all earned. He has struck out 14 and walked just 11. Kevin Marble, our home plate umpire. Kevin Faust, our man in the field here in game number 2. A strike to Longacre. 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in the first game. Off the end of the bat, that one will bloop into right field. So back-to-back right field singles here for Stoltzfus and Longacre, and the first 2 men on base here for Goshen, and that'll bring up the DH Clinton Strobel. Strobel was the starting catcher in game number 1 earlier today. Was the DH last night for Goshen. Strobel a better game earlier today than he had in the opener on Friday night. Curveball away, makes it 1-0 to Strobel. As the first 2 men have reached on singles to the right field area, both going opposite way. And Gongwer comes in high. Strobel backs out of trouble as he's ahead 2-0. Strobel 0 for 4 in game number 1 last night with 4 strikeouts. In the game 1 today, 0 for 2 with a walk. Also reached on a fielder's choice. Same defense behind Gongwer. That was behind Shively in game 1. Whitman, Weiss, Adkins, left to right. Lawson, Lane, Colby, and Taggart. The infield, Tanner Watson, the man behind the plate for TU. Runners at first and second, nobody out, top of the first. And a fastball just above the knees for strike number 2 to even the count. Or to make the first strike of the at-bat, excuse me. Strobel came into the day batting .336. Awaits the 4th one from the righty Gongwer. The fastball is low. Now the count 3-1 in the favor of Strobel, and Gongwer in danger of loading the bases here with nobody out in the top half of the first. Tenth appearance overall for Gongwer on the hill, the 3-1. And Strobel will try to send this one to outer space, and he'll miss mightily. And the count full, 3-2. We saw Strobel do a lot of that, a lot of chasing and just trying to hit the ball 1,000 feet out of here last night, and that's what resulted in his 4 strikeouts. And here comes the payoff pitch from Gongwer. Looking for that first out, and Strobel will give it to him as he chases a fastball upstairs.
Now batting left fielder Ryan Hardig.
Game set to go 9 innings today. In game 2 of the doubleheader, after the first one went to 7, Luke Shively picking up his 6th win. As Taylor won 4-1. First 2 men reached with opposite field singles, and the curveball from Gongwer will find the zone for a strike to Ryan Hardig, the left fielder. Hardig in game number 1, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And Shively had the Goshen bats fooled for most of our first game today. Second one from Gongwer low to even it up at 1-1. One to Hardig. He swings and misses at the fastball. It's 1-2. Hardig 1 for 4 last night in the first game of this 3-game series. A ball and 2 strikes to Hardig, the left fielder, with men at first and second. Gongwer will step off the mound, and that will send Stoltzfus back to second. The 1-2. And that one high to even it up. The 2-2. It hits Hardig, but they'll say he leaned into it, so we're all going to stay here. An emphatic call by our home plate umpire, Kevin Marble. Two and two, with the first 2 men have reached base safely. They stand at first and second. 1 out, no score, top of the first. Gongwer deals off the end of the bat. That one will curl towards the Goshen bullpen and land foul. Tenth appearance of his career for the freshman Gongwer. Another 2-2. Inside, strike number 3, punching out Hardig, who chucks his bat and then takes a look back at our home plate umpire, Kevin Marble, with a grin of disbelief on his face. So back-to-back strikeouts for Gongwer after allowing the first 2 to reach base on singles. Now he'll face Colby Molson trying to get out of the inning with no damage done. First one away to Molson for a ball. Molson, the DH, in game number 1 after playing the same position that he is here in game 3 of the series, being the starting second baseman. 1-0. That one just below the knees. Back-to-back fastballs low and away from the righty Molson. It's 2-0. Colby in the first game of the day, 1 for 3 with a double and a strikeout. He scored the only run of the day for the Maple Leafs back in the top of the 7th. The 2-0. He will rip this one to left, and it will land just on the fair line, or foul line, excuse me, and roll all the way to the fence. That should clear the bases as Molson gets in with his second double. The throw to home, not in time, as scoring from first will be Longacre, and a 2-out, 2 RBI double for Colby Molson. That one lands just inside the left field foul line, and it's 2-0 Goshen here with 2 gone in the top of the first inning. So 2-out RBI for Molson. Big lead for him at second. And that sets the stage for the third baseman, Cody McGuire. A ball on the first one. Second one from Gongwer. Down the middle of the plate for a called strike. Pops out of the glove of Watson, but everybody stays where they are. A ball and a strike. So 2 home here for the Maple Leafs. And back to the knees again goes Gongwer with the strike. It's 1-2 in his favor. Molson, after the 2 RBI double, stands at second. His second extra base hit of the series. The 1-2 from Gongwer. Curveball inside. McGuire trying to sell that it almost hit him in the shoulder. And it's 2-2. Three hits here at the top of the first for Goshen. First 2 men reached, and then Molson brought him around with the 2 RBI double. He stands at second, 2-2 Gongwer. Low and away, that one gets past Watson, and Molson will jog down to third. And the count now 3-2 to McGuire. Gongwer trying to limit the damage to just 2 here in the top of the first, as each team has won a game here in the season series. Gongwer shakes off the first pitch and settles in on the second one he gets. Delivers. Down and low. That'll be a walk. First one from Gongwer today. That puts runners at the corners here for Goshen in the top of the first. As Justin Pettit starts to warm up for TU in the bullpen to our left. Time will be called as pitching coach Devin Wilburn will make his way out to the mound. Pre-game conversation, if you'll remember, with head coach Kyle Gould, talked about how Gongwer had been slated as the Saturday starter for the last 4 Saturdays, but the Trojans have been rained out or just weather has not allowed them to play in these last 4 Saturdays before today. So Gongwer hasn't had a chance to really pitch a lot, so is trying to get him back into a game situation. Gould mentioned how they had tried to work him in during practice to try to simulate things with base runners on and make the strike zone tighter and all that, but Goshen has put up 2 here in the top half of the first. Molson the reason why he stands, at third, and McGuire now over at first after a walk. So 2 outs and 2 on for the shortstop, Cody McCoy, who's had a knack for collecting extra base hits here in the series. Gongwer low and away fastball, snagged by Watson. And it's ball 1. McCoy, the 7th batter of the top of the first here for Goshen. They're up by 2. Off the end of the bat, McCoy will hit it to the netting, to make it 1-1. Taylor comes in 33-10 overall, 13-5 in the Crossroads League. Goshen 19-22 after the opening game loss during the doubleheader. They're now 10-12 in league. 1-1. On the bat, snagged by Gongwer on the mound as he caught that one right next to his left ear. That limits the damage to just 2 on the 2 RBI double from Colby Molson. Trojans come up to bat after this commercial break. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Founded in 1950, Central Indiana Orthopedics began its tradition of offering compassionate expert treatment for patients with bone, joint, and muscle injuries and conditions. CIO doctors and staff continue that tradition today and provide specialized care in the following areas: ankle, back, elbow, foot, hand, hip, joint replacement and revision, knee, neck, physical medicine and rehabilitation, shoulder, spine, sports medicine, and wrist. CIO has locations in Anderson, Elwood, Fishers, Marion, Muncie, and Portland. The Anderson, Muncie, and Fishers offices also have walk-in clinics for acute injuries less than 2 weeks old, which do not require a referral or appointment. The doctors and specialized staff of CIO proudly serve as the official team doctors for Taylor University, as well as several area high schools and universities. To make an appointment or find out other information about Central Indiana Orthopedics, they can be reached at 800-622-6575 or at ciocenter.com. A matchup of two freshman pitchers here in Game 2 that are making their second career starts. It's the lefty Bailey Young from Logansport, Indiana. First one to Whitman was a strike. The second one is low for a ball. Anthony Tadero, the man behind the plate here in the second game of our doubleheader. He was the starting catcher last night. And the 1-1 lined out of play by Whitman as he falls behind 1-2. Wyatt 0 for 4 in game number 1 with a strikeout. Did get a hold of one for his second retirement of the day, but he lined it right to the left fielder, Hardig. 1-2, and the curveball missing away from the lefty. That is Young. It's 2-2. Bailey Young, a 6'1 freshman lefty from Logansport, as we mentioned. A 0-1 overall record, his second career start, an 11.74 ERA. And Whitman fouls off the 2-2 off the end of the bat to stay alive. Same order that we saw for the Trojans in Game 1 that we'll have here in Game 2. Whitman, Lane, Taggart, then Watson, Weiss, Atkins, Kennedy, Lawson, and Colby. Whitman awaits the 2-2. Here it comes from the lefty Young, and a curveball will be fouled off. And it remains 2-2. Back-to-back foul balls with 2 strikes from the Taylor left fielder, Wyatt Whitman. Wyatt 3 for 5 in the first game last night of the series, as we mentioned, 0 for 4 in Game 1 earlier today. He leads off the bottom of the first with his team trailing by 2. Curveball, and Whitman sits on it and launches this one to the left center field gap. Cut off by the center fielder Longacre. Whitman a hard round first, and he scampers back to the bag. And so both leadoff men single to get things going here in the bottom half of their first inning. So Whitman stays on. And that'll bring up Josh Lane, who was white hot in the first game today, going 3 for 4. And the lefty Young will miss away for a ball. Lane led the game off for his first time up in game number 1 today with a triple. Scored the first run of the day for TU, then singled his next 2 times up. Came into the day batting .318. Second one at the knees, taken for a strike. Young comes in 7 2/3 thrown on the year. 4 strikeouts, 8 walks. He's allowed 11 runs, 10 earned. And opponents are batting .455 off of him this season. He allowed a leadoff walk to Whitman. They check on him over at first. As the shortstop, Josh Lane will try to stay hot here. Josh, a good game 1, as we mentioned, going 3 for 4, bouncing back from a 1 for 11 performance in his last 2 games before today. Outside corner, that one looked good, but just a little bit high. 2-1. Goshen in gray with purple numbers and purple letters trimmed in black. The Trojans, white pants, purple jerseys, gray numbers, and the gray block TU on the front of the uniform. 4th one to Lane. Lifts this one down the right field line, still carrying. It'll go into foul ground. And it'll land for a long strike 2. Goshen struck first. Their first 2 men reached on singles in the top of the first, then back-to-back outs before a 2-run double put them ahead 2-0. Taylor's leadoff man on here with the Wyatt Whitman single to left center field. 2-2 from Young to Lane. Curveball will fight it off. And that one will carry out of here foul. Taggart waits on deck. He's trying to get going. 0 for 7 in the series is Nathan Taggart as he waits on deck. Back-to-back foul balls from Lane. 2-2, and this one will be foul ball number 3. Josh had batted out of the bottom third of the Trojan order for most of the season. Then the last few weeks has been elevated to the number 2 spot, and it has paid dividends for the purple and gold. 2-2 will fight off another one, and this one softly lifted off the handle of the bat to our right. Starting pitcher in game number 1, Luke Shively, delivers some fresh baseballs to our home plate umpire, Kevin Marble. Another 2-2, 3 straight foul balls from Lane make it 4. And he'll swing and miss at a beautifully thrown curveball there from the lefty Young. 1 out for Taylor here in the bottom of the first. Lane comes over and gives a quick scouting report to Tanner Watson waiting on deck. And we'll see if Nathan Taggart can get his first hit of the series here as he faces Young for the first time. Curveball away for a ball. Taggart came into the day best batting average for the Trojans at .429. Most hits at 66, but he's 0 for 7 here in the series today. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Taylor last night in game number 1, their batters 2 through 6 when it combined 0 for 19. They were much better here in game number one, collecting 6 hits between those 5 spots in the order. 1-1 lined out of play. As Whitman remains over there at first after his leadoff single. Trojans down 2-0 here in the bottom half of the first inning. And 1 out for Nathan Taggart. Young, the lefty, out of the stretch. Curveball, and Taggart will send it to the net. Still remains 1-2. Safe lead for Whitman over at first. Another 1-2. Fastball high and away, 2-2. Taggart out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Awaiting the 2-2 with a runner at first. He's the tying run at the plate. And he'll golf this one up towards right field. Charging in Hunter. And then it'll be Molson making the over-the-shoulder catch as the second baseman came all the way over, almost all the way to the right field foul line to make the catch for out number 2. And so it'll be the catcher Tanner Watson who will now be the tying run at the plate here for the Trojans with 2 outs. And Taylor down 2-0 here in the bottom of the first of game 2 of our doubleheader.
The catcher, Tanner Watson.
Watson 1 for 2 in game number 1 with the double. A ground rule double there for the Trojans in the 5th. Also walked as well. First one well away. And it's ball 1. 3 hits for Goshen in the top of the first. Taylor got a leadoff single from Wyatt Whitman. He stands over there at first base. Trojans trailing by 2 as they bat for the first time here in game 2 of the doubleheader. That one down the middle at the knees, taken for strike 1. Taylor now 21-2 here at home after winning game 1 of the doubleheader, 4-1. Third one from Young. This one to right field. Hit for Watson. So 2 men on with 2 outs, first and second. And Sam Weiss. Here comes Jonathan Foster to run for Tanner Watson. Starting to come back here after a strikeout his first time up in game 1 today. Walked and then doubled. And now he singles here, then gives the scouting report to Jared Atkins before he goes to the bench. So we'll see what Sam Weiss can do here. He was 1 for 3 in the first game today with an RBI single. Runners at first and second. Taylor down by 2. And Sam will take the first one. Belt high. Thought it was off the plate, but it's in there for strike 1. Sam walked 3 times in game 1 last night. Big lead for Whitman at second. And that one away from the left by the lefty Young to even it up at a ball and a strike. Taylor 10 hits in the first game as they pushed across those 4 runs. Wind is picked back up, blowing in from right center field. Weiss crowning the inside part of the plate. The lefty Young facing the right-handed senior center fielder. Third pitch. And that one will come across the inside part of the plate. Almost made contact with Weiss. But the curveball makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes as Young tries to get out of the jam here in the bottom of the first with the tying runs on at first and second. Whitman and the courtesy runner Jonathan Foster, so good speed out there if Weiss can get it to the outfield. The 1-2 from Young. Low and away, covered up by Tadero. That evens it up at 2 apiece. Jared Atkins waits on deck if Weiss can extend the bottom of the first. Big game for both teams as Indiana Wesleyan won their first game today, so the Trojans trying to keep pace with the Wildcats and also the Huntington Foresters, who are the 2 teams ahead of them in the league standings. 2-2 to Weiss. Swings and misses on the outside part of the plate, then spikes that bat into the dirt. So the Trojans strand the tying runs on. We head to the top half of the second. Taylor down 2-0 to Goshen. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com. One inning in the books. Anthony Tadero, the catcher, will bat here for Goshen as they lead 2-0. Tadero, the catcher in the first game of the series last night, did not play in the opener today as he steps in with those PF Flyer cleats. First one a ball. He'll go after the second one, and this one off the end of the bat and out of play to our right. Tadero 1 for 3 in the contest an evening ago. Scored a run, struck out once. The hit was just his 4th one of the year. He's now 4 for 20, 4 for 49. His batting average below 100. And he falls behind 1-2 here. Strobel was the starting catcher in the first game today. He's the DH here in game 2, just like he was last night. 1-2 from Gongwer. Curveball lined, one hopper. Lane will snag it out of the air, then get back to his feet, throw it to first. And Josh Lane is showing young men how to play shortstop everywhere in the last handful of games. One gone here at the top of the second.
Right fielder Chase Hunter.
So 1 out, a good start here to start things off in the top of the second for TU. Chase Hunter, the right fielder. 0 for 1 with a walk in our first game today. Yes, Hunter came into the day batting .255. First one. Swing and a miss mightily by Hunter. A good pitch there by Gongwer to start. Fastball is good, can hit the upper 80s. And Gongwer's used it to his credit here today. His uncle also wrote the book, Lead for God's Sake, a popular book amongst some of our coaches here in the athletic department at TU. He comes inside with the fastball, and that one low and in to make it 2-1 to the lefty Chase Hunter. Gongwer 6'3", 185 pounds. Fourth one, and the fastball at the knees makes it 3-1. 1 out, top of the second. Goshen leading 2-0. Fifth one. Outside corner. Called for a strike to make the count full. So Gongwer trying to battle back here. He retired the first man here in the top of the second. He's made the count full here to the right fielder, Chase Hunter. And we'll do it all again as that one sent up and foul to our left. Gongwer threw 30 pitches there in the top of the first. He's thrown 20 here so far in the second. This one a looper towards center. Weiss hustling. Good leaning, diving catch there from Sam Weiss. That gets a fist bump from Mom sitting down below us. So good 2 stellar defensive plays here for Taylor in the top of the second. First lane in now Weiss, and there are 2 gone for Goshen in the top of the second. And that'll send us back to the top of the order in Brad Stoltzfus for Goshen. Stoltzfus a big game last night. Quiet here in the first one today. And singled his first time up here in our second game. He was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in game 1 of the day. Singled his first time up against Gongwer. And Gongwer will miss, punch his right fist into his mitt as the count levels at 1-1. 2 outs, nobody on. And Stoltzfus will miss mightily. He falls behind 1-2. Gongwer with a pair of strikeouts already here in the game. As he pitches in the top of the second, nobody on, 2 outs, trying to get a 1-2-3. And that one away as he loses his footing just a little bit. And makes it 2-2. Stoltzfus 2 for 4 last night with the go-ahead 2-run homer. 2 strikeouts in the first game today, and the 2-2 will bounce in. And now the count all full with nobody on, 2 outs. Goshen batting here, leading 2-0 in the top of the second. Gongwer out of the stretch, kicks and drives. Swinging and missing one upstairs, Stoltzfus. 3rd strikeout for Drake Gongwer, a 1-2-3 inning for the freshman hurler. And Taylor will try to tie things up as they trail 2-0 here as we head to the bottom of the second. This is Taylor Baseball on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Taylor down by 2 as they bat for the second time today. And the right fielder, Jared Atkins, will be the one to lead it off. He'll be followed by Andrew Kennedy and Brett Lawson. First one from Bailey Young, called for a strike. Jared 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the first game of the day. This one off the end of the bat, carrying down the right field line. Good jump by Hunter, still in foul ground, and Hunter will make the catch in foul territory for out number 1. So 1 out for the DH, Andrew Kennedy. Taylor has the same order that we saw in game number 1 of the day. Kennedy 1 for 3 in the first game. It was good last night as well, going 1 for 2. Fastball from Young inside, ball 1. Second one from the lefty Young, a curveball high, quickly 2-0 to the sophomore DH Andrew Kennedy. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the second. Kennedy goes after the third one. And this one's sent to the parking lot, and it'll bounce foul. Kennedy back to the right field side again, and a man holding a small child tried to make the catch, but he was unsuccessful in doing so. As one of his friends waves. Sadly, our camera doesn't move, so we can't get that man on camera. 2-2 to Kennedy. Low again, and this one out of play to the right. Still remains 2-2. Taylor had 2 on, with 2 outs in the top of the first, trying to tie the game at 2, but unable to bring anybody in. 2-2 to Kennedy again. This one right back up the middle, but Molson there at second to make the line drive catch for out number 2. So after a couple of hits for both pitchers in the first inning, Young trying to duplicate what Gongwer did in the visiting half of the second inning and retire the batters in order. Brett Lawson has other ideas, and a big swing there, and he misses on the first one. Lawson 2 for 3 in game 1 with a pair of singles and a run batted in. Trying to start things going for Taylor here in the bottom of the second as they trail by 2. And the second pitch outside the zone, 1-1. Third pitch to Lawson. He'll miss again. A good one there from the lefty Young. And it puts Lawson down 1-2 with nobody on, 2 outs. And Taylor trailing 2-0 here at the bottom of the second inning. And Lawson right back to Molson. A one-hop in front of him. He knocks it down, still fumbles with it, gets it up in time, and quickly will throw it to first to retire Lawson. So both pitchers get 1, 2, 3 innings here in the second inning. We head to the third with Goshen leading Taylor 2-0. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Batters 2, 3, and 4 due up for Goshen here as they bat in the top of the third, leading Taylor 2-0 after their 2 runs came across their first time at the plate. Center fielder Ben Longacre will be the one to lead it off. And the first one from Gongwer will miss for a ball. Longacre singled to put the first 2 men on for Goshen back in the top of the first. He later came around to score on the 2 RBI double from Colby Molson. Softly fouls off the second one he gets, and it evens it up at a ball and a strike. Taylor won game number 1, 4-1. They trail 2-0 here with Goshen batting top of the third. Curveball that fooled Longacre every which way, and he swings and misses. He's down 1-2. Good job of pulling the string there from Gongwer. The 1-2 on its way. This one lined, and that one will be bent. Foul up the third base side, right past Brett Lawson. Longacre 0 for 4 in the game last night against TU. Went 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in our opener earlier today. Wind blowing in from right center field. The 1-2 again. To the outside half, it misses. It evens it up 2-2. Goshen now 6-10 on the road after dropping the first game of our doubleheader today. Though a 2-2 towards Lawson's way. That one bounced in fair ground, then hooked to the left of third. And it goes foul. Two balls and 2 strikes for the leadoff man, Longacre, the center fielder. In the top of the third with his team, the Goshen Maple Leafs, leading TU 2-0. And Gongwer, curveball inside, that one low. And now the count full to the leadoff man, Longacre. Payoff pitch. Blooped up, and that one will land in short right center field. Leadoff hit for Longacre. His second hit of the day. He's 2 for 2. They're going 1 for 3 in our first game. And a leadoff man on for Goshen as they lead 2-0 here in the top half of the third inning. And that brings up Clinton Strobel, the DH.
Now batting the DH, Clinton Strobel.
Goshen limited to just 4 hits. In game number 1, they have 4 right now, batting in the top of the third with nobody out. They lead 2-0 after the 2 RBI double by Molson in the top of the first inning. Curveball Strobel taking it inside for a strike. Strobel has struck out 5 times in the series, 4 times last night, and he struck out his first time up today. No strikeouts in game 1 of the double dip earlier today. Check swing there, that one at the knees, makes it 0-2. Strobel 6'2" junior. The DH today in game 2, the starting catcher in the first game of the day, a 7-inning affair. 0-2 from Gongwer with the man at first. Pitching away, it's 1-2 now. Longacre, a single to right center field. He led this inning off. He takes his lead over at first. And Goshen out front 2-0. A 1-2 to Strobel. Popping it up and over everyone's heads to the parking lot.
Tristan, go that way. Yeah.
2-2 to Strobel. Runner goes to second. They get Strobel to pop it up. And that one goes back foul again. Two balls and 2 strikes. Leadoff man at first, top of the third, Goshen ahead by 2. Strobel, hard hit ball, Lawson snags it, gets up, they'll turn it over to second. Colby won't be able to turn 2, lost it. His footing a little bit coming off of second. Had a chance to get the play over there, but lost a little bit of footing. But the Trojans get the lead runner out. And there's one gone on the top of the third for Goshen. Ryan Harding will step in. He's 0 for 1 on the afternoon. First one bounces in, chested down by Watson, the catcher. And Strobel remains over at first. Strobel not known for stealing bases, 0 for 2 on the year. It's just the second time he's reached base here in the series against TU. Second one sent out on the end of the bat, 1-1. Harding with just one hit in the series as well. That came in the contest last night when he went 1 for 4. 0 for 3 in the opener with a strikeout today. And Gongwer comes inside and gets a called strike 2. Gongwer closing in on 70 pitches as Pettit warms up in the Taylor bullpen. We're at the top of the third. A man on, 1 out. And then Harding will chase one upstairs again. He's down on strikes for the second time today. And there are 2 outs for Goshen here in the third. And Harding not happy. You could hear him yell there in the background, ripped his helmet off, and then even ripped his white sunglasses off his face even faster as he stomps into his dugout to our right. 2 outs for the second baseman, Colby Molson. His double brought in the only 2 runs of the day so far for either side. The double for Molson, just his 4th extra base hit of the year. All have been doubles. Now he goes ahead 2-0. Gongwer, the righty freshman, out of the stretch. Molson will smoke this one to deep left field. Whitman going back at the warning track. He makes a great catch on the track, and that keeps runners off the board as Whitman tracked that bad boy down and hauled it in on the warning track. And Taylor will come up here in the bottom of third, down by 2 still, but Whitman keeps it at a 2-0 margin. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Bottom of the third, Taylor still trailing by 2. And Tanner Colby will try to get things going for the Trojans after the man on deck, Wyatt Whitman, stole an extra base hit from Colby Molson, tracking one down on the warning track and making a backhanded catch. Just 2 hits for the Trojans. They came in the first. And the second one low from the lefty Young to the lefty Colby. 2-0. Tanner 1 for 2 with the double in the first game of the day. The third one up high, 3-0. Pettit has stopped going through the paces in the Taylor bullpen. Nobody up in the Goshen pen. 3-0 to Colby as he leads off the bottom of the third. Inside half, and the lefty will take it for a strike. Colby started the day, batting .333. A double in game one today is fourth. And that one just above the letters. That's a leadoff walk for Colby. He'll bring up the tying run in the form of Wyatt Whitman to the dish. So Wyatt Whitman will bat. He singled to lead things off for Taylor in the bottom of the first. He bats here in the bottom of the third. He's the tying run with his team down 2-0. And a leadoff walk for Colby has put him at first base. Sedaros sets up away. He'll be down the right field line. Foul ground. Stoltzfus catching it, and he makes a very nice over-the-shoulder catch, just very leisurely on the reaction. But Stoltzfus just flicked that glove out there, made a catch, and then has a chat with some of the fans of the chain link fence on the right side of the park. One out for TU. That'll bring up Josh Lane. So Lane batting for the second time today as he tries to get TU going. He's now the tying run at the plate, one out, bottom of the third. Game set to go the full 9 here to wrap up the 3-game set between TU and Goshen. First one away, ball 1. Josh struck out his first time up after going 3 for 4 in the first game of the day. Colby will lead at first, that right arm swinging back and forth. Second one at the letters but high, 2-0. Rick Atkinson, the head Hall of Famer, over there coaching first. Kyle Gould, the head coach, he is coaching third. Checking on Colby at first. And he steps back on over. Two balls, no strikes to Lane with a runner at first. And now he goes ahead 3-0. Same scenario we saw with Colby. 3 pitches to start his at-bat off, then he got a walk after a 3-1. Lane gets ready for the dealing from the lefty Bailey Young. His second career start. And this one will paint the outside corner for the first strike of his at-bat. Josh started the day batting .318. 3-1 from Young as he stands on the first base side of the rubber. And that one's low, so identical 3-1 walks to Colby and Lane. And that puts the tying run at first and the go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Nathan Taggart. Trojans need Nathan Taggart to get going here with their sights still set on a regular season Crossroads League championship and the automatic bid to the national tournament that will come with it. But Taggart 0 for 7, but now 0 for 8 after flying out or popping out to the second baseman Molson his first time up as he tries to get going here. 2 on for Taggart. Had a bunch of grounders last night when he went 0 for 5. Had the sac fly to get Taylor on the board in game 1 earlier today. First one a strike. Second one off the end of the bat and a foul ball to the parking lot. And that hit someone's car, and that sounded like it left a dent. As everyone cranes their necks to look and see if it was their car that was the unlucky one here on this Saturday afternoon. Taggart down 0-2. Runners at first and second, 1 out, bottom of the third. Taylor down by 2. And Taggart will send this one to dead center field. Longacre going back. He makes the catch. Colby will tag. Lane will tag as well. So the runners each move up one base. They fake the throw to second. And so a fly out to one of the deepest parts of the park puts Taggart at 0 for 2. But now runners at second and third for Tanner Watson, the catcher, but 2 outs for the Trojans here in the home half of the third. So the tying run at second as Watson tries to follow up a leadoff single. He's collected hits in his last 2 at-bats, dating back to the end of game number 1 when he doubled, a ground rule double that bounced over the left field fence. That one high and away for a ball. Colby stands at third after a leadoff walk. Lane walked to put him at second, and then Taggart's deep fly out to center has moved them up into scoring position both. Taylor down 2 here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs for the catcher, Tanner Watson. Kick from the lefty Bailey Young, and he leaves a second one high and away to the righty Watson. Sam Weiss waits on deck. And now a fresh baseball will be thrown down to Bailey Young from the catcher, Anthony Tadero. Tanner started the day batting .346. The double in game 1, his 11th of the year. The 2-0. Away again, this time a little bit down in the zone, but away enough to make it 3-0. First base open, 2 outs. Taylor threatening here in the bottom of the third. They were able to drive their runners in game number 1 today. Struggled last night, leaving 11 stranded, including second and third, and the bases loaded in back-to-back innings last night. 3-1 from the lefty. High for ball 4, and they'll be loaded up for the center fielder, Sam Weiss. No free passes in the first 2 innings for the lefty Bailey Young. And he's thrown 3 here in the third to load him up. Jonathan Foster coming into courtesy run for the catcher, Tanner Watson. And time will be called, and they will have a mound meeting as Molson gives the couple tips to the starter, Bailey Young. Bases full for the Trojans. They were in this situation last night in the bottom of the 7th. Trailing 4-3, had 2 outs in the same exact situation, unable to bring anybody in. They hope for better results here. Down 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. Bases juiced for Sam Weiss. Sam struck out swinging his only time up so far today. First one after the mound meeting with Young, and that one just a little bit high. So after a good first couple of innings, Young's command has gone away from him in a hurry here in the third. The next pitch will be the 20th he's thrown here in this third inning with the bases full and 2 gone. Now he steps off the mound to get his bearings. A ball to Weiss with Atkins standing on deck. 2 outs and the bases full. Taylor down by a deuce. The pitch. That one low, covered up by Tadero. It'll roll forward, and it's 2-0 for Weiss. So Foster the runner at first. Courtesy running for the catcher, Tanner Watson. Lane at second. And the leadoff man, Colby, at third. All base runners have reached via walks, and now Young really starting to take his time in between pitches. 2 balls, no strikes to Weiss. His team down by 2, batting in the bottom of the third. That one inside, and that one taken for a strike by the senior from Iowa. Runners will be going on contact. The fourth one from the lefty, Young. To the corner, but just misses. Now 3-1 with nowhere to put Weiss. And Taylor trying to get on the board for the first time today. First two men reached on walks after a 3-1 pitch. That's the count right now to Weiss. Young delivers. That one at the letters, taken for a strike. It's now a payoff pitch here, a big one coming from Young. The base is full, and Taylor down by 2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. The pitch from Young. Runners go, and they'll all have to go back as that one fouled out to the parking lot. This will be the 7th pitch of Weiss's at-bat. We'll see what Young wants to throw to him. Bases full, 2 outs. Taylor down by 2, bottom of the third. Young delivers. And Weiss will send this one to center field. Will it get down in time? Yes, it will. 1 run's in, 2 runs are in, and Weiss delivers with a bases loaded hit. This one's going to roll almost to the Taylor dugout. A diving stop by the lefty Young by about 6 inches. Keeps that ball out of the dugout and keeps the go-ahead run standing at third. But a 2-out, bases loaded, 2 RBI single for Sam Weiss. Ties our game at 2 here in the bottom of the third inning. So now the go-ahead run stands at third. The Trojans couldn't cash in on the opportunities last night when they had runners in scoring position late. And they've done so today in game number 1, and they do so today here in game 2. So second and third for Jared Atkins as now the crowd down below us juiced once again with an opportunity to take their first lead here of the doubleheader, or here of the game 2 of the doubleheader, I should say. The lefty Young delivers the first one to Jared Atkins, and this one misses again. And Atkins and the rest of the Trojan bats benefiting from the command of Young, getting away from him quickly here in this third inning. He's walked 3 men. Weiss's single to center has driven in 2. And the go-ahead run is Jonathan Foster standing at third base as action begins in the Goshen pen. Second one to Atkins. High and away again, 2-0. We can't see who's warming up. It's a right-hander for Goshen. They have an Oxford gray hoodie on over their light gray uniform. 2 balls, no strikes to Jared Atkins. He's 0 for 1 today. Fouling out in foul ground down the deep right field line. Weiss standing at second, Foster at third. Taylor tied at 2 with Goshen. And this one in the zone, just below the belt for strike 1. Two balls and a strike for last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year, Jared Atkins. Went 1 for 3 in game number 1. A hit here would at least load the bases and could potentially bring in the go-ahead run. Breaking ball comes inside. That one nicks the inside corner, and it evens it up at 2-2. As we look down, we see Brian Fields up the near side of the park. Batting helmet on, swinging a bat, trying to get loosened up. His buddy Andrew Kennedy stands on deck. 2-2 from Young to Atkins with 2 men on. That one low, covered up by Tadero. That will make the count full. Atkins, the 7th batter here of the inning for TU. Weiss stands at second after a 2 RBI single to tie our game at 2 apiece. Cam Nickel looks to be warming up in the bullpen for Goshen right now. Payoff pitch from the lefty Young to the righty Atkins. A deep breath and a drive. Atkins will send this one right to the second baseman, Molson. And the Trojans will leave 2 stranded at second and third, but a 2 RBI single for Sam Weiss has tied our game at 2 after 3 innings of play. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network as Justin Pettit will come into pitch.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
New pitcher in for the Trojans. It's the right-hander Justin Pettit. As he pitches in a 2-2 contest here in the top of the fourth. He'll face Cody McGuire to start, excuse me. And it's a strike to start the at-bat off. Pettit, a 6'3 sophomore, worked his way up from the JV squad a year ago. A 1-0 overall record as Pettit appears in his 7th game here of 2018. A 5.19 ERA, 9 strikeouts and just 1 walk. 5 runs allowed, all earned. Good curveball is Pettit's pitch. And the 1-1 fouled up and out to make it 1-2. Pettit worked his way up from the JV squad a year ago. Had a good outing earlier this week against Mount Vernon Nazarene. And there's a nasty curveball to retire McGuire to start things off here in the 4th, as McGuire disagrees with the call from home plate umpire Kevin Marble. And it sounds like McGuire hit something on his way to the dugout in frustration. Now bring up the shortstop, Cody McCoy. Curveball, strike inside as McCoy backs out of the way. Pettit with kind of a herky-jerky delivery. There's a lot of stuff going on when he kicks that lead leg up. Second one, fastball burns in low, 1-1 the count. Game tied at 2 after Sam Weiss's 2 RBI single with the bases loaded and 2 outs a half inning ago. A strikeout looking to get this inning going. 1-1 McCoy. And the curveball misses upstairs, makes it 2-1. The starter, Drake Gongwer, went 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 1 and struck out 3. Fourth one from Pettit to McCoy, that fastball below the knees. It's now 3-1. Pettit has only walked 1 batter coming into the day. And then McCoy swings and misses at what would have been ball 4. 3-2 the count. Nobody on, 1 out here in the top half of the 4th. The payoff pitch, and McCoy stays alive, just getting a piece of 1 upstairs. One out in the top of the 4th, game tied at 2. As McCoy awaits another 3-2 pitch from Pettit, here it comes, and it's in there for strike 3. Back-to-back looking strikeouts for 28 in purple. And 2 outs for Goshen near the top of the 4th as Pettit dealing out of the pen here right now. Curveball, Pettit, outside half. Tadero watches it curl in for a strike. Pettit really starting to groove right now. Game even at 2 after the Weiss single in the bottom of the third. Fastball inside half, popped out of the glove of Watson, but it's 0-2 to the catcher, Tadero. Second game that Tadero has played in the series. He was a starting catcher last night, going 1 for 3. Did not play in our earlier game today. He's 0 for 1 today, grounding out to lane his only time up. He's down 0-2 here. Top of the fourth. Ground ball, that'll get through the right side, fielded by Atkins as Tadero hustling his way down to first for his 5th hit of the season. And a 2-out single here for Tadero, and Goshen keeps the top of the fourth rolling along. Pinch runner comes in for Tadero at first. It'll be number 21, Bobby Garcia, the starting second baseman from game number 1 earlier today. Lefty Chase Hunter at the dish. Runner goes down to second. Watson's throwing out one man here in the series, down to second, and that one just got there before Lane could get the ball behind home plate. A great throw from Watson. It just beat Lane to the bag, and he wasn't able to get the tag down in time. So Garcia able to take second. He's now 7 for 7 on stolen bases this season. And a go-ahead run in scoring position here with 2 outs for Hunter at the plate. First pitch was a strike, and the second one the same result as well. Pettit struck out the first 2 batters here of the inning. Was ahead 0-2, and then Tadero went opposite way to right field for a single. He's ahead 0-2 here, and that curveball will get in there and freeze Hunter. That's 3 looking strikeouts for Justin Pettit as he keeps the game tied at 2 here in the top of the fourth. This is Taylor Baseball on the Trojan Sports Network. So Taylor batting here at the bottom of the fourth with an opportunity to take their first lead here in game 2 of the doubleheader today. And it's Bailey Young, the lefty, still on the mound here for Goshen after his command escaped him badly in the bottom of the third and allowed Taylor to tie the game at 2. It's a little bit back here, and he puts it down the middle for a strike. Andrew Kennedy, the DH, leads it off. He'll be followed by Lawson and Colby, the bottom third of the Taylor order. But 3 walks and a single are how Taylor tied the game at 2 an inning ago. And the lefty curveball will miss to the righty Kennedy. It's 2-1. Andrew lined out to the second baseman Molson, his first time up today. Andrew 1 for 3 in game number 1 today with an RBI. Fourth one, Kennedy will swing and miss at a breaking ball there, and it's now 2-2. 2-2 the score. 5 hits for Goshen, 3 for TU. Fifth one, curveball, that one to the outside corner, just comes in and nicks it, freezing Kennedy for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Good looking pitch there from Young as he gets some of that command back. So Brett Lawson, who has swung the bat well as of late. He takes the first one, a fastball at the letters, outside half for a strike. Brett 0 for 1 here in the game. Went 2 for 3 in the first game with an RBI. Sits on one there, golfs it out towards right, but the right fielder Chase Hunter there, and he makes the easy catch for out number 2. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for TU.
Now batting second baseman Tanner Colby.
For the left-handed second baseman Tanner Colby. Curveball to the inside half for a called strike. Colby led things off an inning ago, got Taylor on with a walk, and then later came around to score. Shows bunt. And he takes the breaking ball for strike 2. Cam Nickel continues to warm up for Goshen in the bullpen to our right, but Young has refound his command here in the bottom of the 4th. Nobody on, 2 outs, nothing in 2 the count to Colby. And that one low and away for ball 1. Colby will pop this one up short left field. It'll be a tough one to make. It'll be caught on a diving catch by Ryan Hardig, the left fielder, as he came out of nowhere and dove in between McCoy and Longacre to retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th. We've played 4 from Winterholder Field. It's Taylor 2, Goshen 2. And this is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Founded in 1950, Central Indiana Orthopedics began its tradition of offering compassionate expert treatment for patients with bone, joint, and muscle injuries and conditions. CIO doctors and staff continue that tradition today and provide specialized care in the following areas: ankle, back, elbow, foot, hand, hip, joint replacement and revision, knee, neck, physical medicine and rehabilitation, shoulder, spine, sports medicine, and wrist. CIO has locations in Anderson, Elwood, Fishers, Marion, Muncie, and Portland. The Anderson, Muncie, and Fishers offices also have walk-in clinics for acute injuries less than 2 weeks old, which do not require a referral or appointment. The doctors and specialized staff of CIO proudly serve as the official team doctors for Taylor University, as well as several area high schools and universities. To make an appointment or find out other information about Central Indiana Orthopedics, they can be reached at 800-622-6575 or at ciocenter.com. Top of the order up here for Goshen. This game tied at 2. Stoltzfus, Longacre, and Strobel, the ones up for the Maple Leafs. Second full inning of work for Justin Pettit. 3 strikeouts and a single in his first inning on the hill. And the first toss here to Stoltzfus upstairs for ball 1. Stoltzfus 1 for 2 today. Rips this one to left, but he'll pull it foul. Stoltzfus had the go-ahead 2-run homer last night to win the game for Goshen about midway through that 9-inning contest. Curveball from Pettit just slips out of the hand as he looks at the ball back in his right hand, getting it back from the catcher Watson. 2 balls and a strike. Stoltz, who's 0 for 3 in the first game today, though, with 2 Ks. Leans back on that one as Pettit comes high and inside. It's now 3-1. Stoltz, who's leading it off here in the top of the 5th. Goshen and Taylor tied it 2 apiece. This one hit to the left side. Will bounce to Lawson. He'll throw it across the diamond to Taggart for out number 1. Ben Longacre has turned his fortunes around here in Game 2 today. Was 0 for 4 last night, 1 for 3 in the opener today, but he's 2 for 2 right now in the nightcap of the double dip. 2-2 the score, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Swings and misses at the fastball from the righty Pettit. It's 0-1. Five hits for Goshen today. 1 has gone for extra bases. It's been the only run-producing hit for them today. A double from Molson back in the first, and Pettit goes back to that nasty little curveball, and he's ahead 0-2. Pettit with 3 strikeouts already on the day. The 0-2. Foul tipped. Watson just couldn't get a handle on it cleanly. And the count remains 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. To Longacre with nobody on and 1 out. That one rising and catching the net. Foul ball. Just 2 hits since Goshen had those 3 to lead things off in the first. Single in the third and then a single back in the fourth. Another 0-2. Fastball away. Longacre won't be fooled this time. It's the first ball of his at-bat here. The 1-2 from Pettit. Curveball. This one will be pulled to left, and it will be pulled foul. Cleared the fence. Doesn't look to be hanging up there just a little bit to Longacre. Pulled it foul. So thankfully it remains 1-2 for the Trojans. A well-struck ball from Longacre as he starts to get hot here, as we mentioned. 2 for 2 here in Game 2 after going just 1 for 7 in the game last night and the one earlier today combined. 1-2 from Pettit. Swing and a miss this time. Longacre flails at one on the outside corner. 4th strikeout for Justin Pettit today, and there are 2 outs here in the top of the 5th for Goshen. Cam Nickel jogging down to the Goshen bullpen to resume warming up. And 2 outs here in the top of the 5th for Goshen. Two-two the score, top of the 5th. Curveball again from Pettit. That's the go-to pitch for the right-hander, and it's a strike to Strobel with 2 outs. 2-2 the score here at the top of the 5th inning. 2 outs and nobody on. Pettit's been dealing here since coming in an inning ago. One ball and 1 strike. As Strobel bats for the 3rd time. Struck out swinging his first time up and then reached on a fielder's choice. Check swing. Outside corner. Couldn't hold it back. And then Strobel will slink his way out of the box smoothly. And he's down 1-2 with 2 outs here at the top of the 5th and nobody on. Game even at 2 apiece. Pettit out of the stretch, deals at home, and Strobel will stay alive on the foul ball. Wind picking up as it blows in from right center field. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th, nobody on. Pettit delivers to Strobel. Rips this one just past Lane at short. And another 2-out single here in back-to-back innings for Goshen as Strobel gets his first hit of the day. The 6th one of the afternoon for the Maple Leafs, and with 2 outs, they've got a man on. for Ryan Hardig, who made a diving catch to end the Taylor threat in the bottom of the fourth.
Left fielder Ryan Harding.
Hardig flashing the leather to end the bottom of the fourth. Ground ball left side. Lawson snags on a hop, sets his feet, throws from foul ground, and retires Harding over at first. Oh, that left side of the infield so dangerous for Taylor. And runs stay off the board after another two-out knock from Goshen. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Tied at 2. The Trojans bring up the top of the order. Whitman, Lane, and Taggart.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Left fielder Whitman.
Halfway home here from Winterholder Field, as Wyatt Whitman will lead it off for the Trojans. And Bailey Young remains on the mound here. Had a little bit of a bump in the road to let Taylor tie the game at 2 in the third. Got locked back in and got a 1-2-3 inning thanks to the diving, sliding catch from Hardig to end things in the Taylor's threat there in the fourth. 1-1 to Whitman. Curveball. That one just to the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Wyatt 1 for 2 today here in the second game of the doubleheader. Fourth pitch, he'll fight it off. Foul ground, and that one will carry to the fan sitting to our right. That allows the Australian sheepdog down there. He almost pulls the guy holding the leash to go get that ball. Obviously from the name, they're meant to herd sheep in Australia, and so any moving object, that thing's going to go right after it. Another 1-2 to Whitman. Straightening it out a little bit this time, but right towards Chase Hunter in right. Jogs forward, and there's one out here in the fifth for TU. Game still tied at 2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Josh Lane batting for the third time.
Batting shortstop Josh Lane.
First one from the lefty, Young. Bunt from Lane. It'll bounce off of home plate and go to the backstop for a foul ball. Josh 0 for 3 in the first game today. He's 0 for 1 today, walking and scoring his last time up. Came into the Saturday 1 for his last 11. But has been batting better as of late. Second pitch from Young, is a ball. The third one will be a swing and a miss from Lane to make it 1-2. Nickel still standing down there in the Goshen pen, ready to come in if needed. 1-2 to Lane. Curveball that'll get him to miss. Second strikeout by Josh Lane today. The third one thrown by Bailey Young. And there are 2 outs for Taylor here in the bottom of the 5th and Nathan Taggart.
Number 14, Nathan Taggart.
Sun coming out from behind the clouds as it sets to our left. Young to Taggart. The first one will be pulled into the left center field gap, and Taggart gets his first hit here of the series. And it comes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th as he loops one into short left center field. Just the 4th hit here of game number 2 for Taylor today. They had 10 in the first one. And Tanner Watson, who's reached base safely twice here in our second contest, will try to keep the 2-out rally and get it rolling here in the bottom of the 5th. His team tied at 2 with Goshen. First one lined, scooting out of the way is Rick Atkinson at first. A foul ball for Watson. Tanner 1 for 2 with the double. That came his last time up in game number 1 earlier today. Then singled and walked his 2 times up here in the second contest. Inside pitch from Young, and the lefty will make it 1-1. Two our score. The second baseman Molson had a double, scoring 2 runs in the first for Goshen. Sam Weiss drove in the 2 with a single in the third for TU. Curveball from the lefty Young, low and away in there for a strike to the righty Watson. Taggart the go-ahead run over at first. The 1-2. Watson, ground ball left side. That one's past the diving McGuire at third. 2 hits for Tanner Watson here in game 2. He's reached base safely all 3 times. And with 2 outs, Taylor has put 2 men on for the guy that gave Taylor a tie in Sam Weiss. Foster will pinch run here for Watson at first. And that will be the end of the line for Bailey Young. They'll bring in the right-hander Cam Nickel wearing number 14. And we'll introduce you to him when we come back after this commercial break. First and second, Taylor tied at 2 with Goshen here in the bottom of the 5th and Sam Weiss ready to come up to bat. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. The new pitcher is 6-foot right-hander Cam Nickel, wearing the number 14, originally given to Quinlan Armstrong, who broke his leg earlier this season. And Weiss will pop this one up to the right side of the infield. Stoltzfus there, called off. Molson in, and he makes a catch just inside the right field foul line. So Taylor will strand runners at first and second with 2 outs. We've played 5. Here from Winterholder Field, we'll talk about Armstrong and his recovery when we come back from this commercial break. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Third inning of work for Justin Pettit. As DH Andrew Kennedy starts to warm up in the Taylor bullpen, we start things off here in the top half of the 6th. The game tied at 2. Colby Molson will lead it off. He has the only run-producing hit for Goshen today. Now he's down 0-2 after a nice curveball there thrown by Pettit. 2 RBI double for Molson to the left field corner. Put Goshen up 2-0 in the first. Then Taylor tied it with a 2 RBI single from Sam Weiss with the bases full in the bottom of the 3rd. Third one from Pettit will bounce inside for a ball. We mentioned Quinlan Armstrong, who wears number 14 originally, before Nickel has now worn his number here. Armstrong broke his leg after playing and starting in the first 5 games of the year for Goshen. He's from nearby Kokomo, Indiana. The 1-2. Ground ball left side. That one will go between the wickets of Lawson at third. Rolls into left. And Molson on to lead things off. That'll go down as an error against the third baseman Lawson. And the go-ahead run at first here for Goshen, bringing up Cody McGuire. But Armstrong, as we mentioned, broke his leg in a non-conference game earlier this year. First one, a curveball from Pettit to McGuire for a called strike. In danger, from what we had heard, he was in danger of potentially losing part of his leg, and thankfully they were able to save it, and he's back on the road to recovery right now. Back to the curveball goes Pettit inside. It's 1-1. We do want to extend our best wishes to the Armstrong family as Quinlan recovers, just a sophomore, a pretty good outfielder for the Maple Leafs a year ago. That one, a wild pitch from Pettit. That'll send Molson down to second. And the go-ahead run now in scoring position with nobody out early on here in the top half of the 6th. Two and 1 to Cody McGuire. 0 for 1 today with a walk. Now Rob Fox is the one warming up in the Taylor pen, replacing Kennedy. Little flail swing there from McGuire. He goes around, and the count squares itself at 2-2. 2-2 our score. Goshen batting in the top of the 6th. Each team with a game in our win in our season series here so far. 2-2 from Pettit. Curveball. That one almost ended up on the chin of McGuire. He will pirouette out of the way. And now the count is all full at 3-2. Pettit quickly working, looks at the runner at second. Payoff pitch. That one too far off the outside part of the plate. And the first 2 men have reached base safely here with a walk to McGuire. That's the first walk allowed by Pettit here today since coming in before the top of the 4th. So now both Kennedy and Fox warming up. Rob pitched last night, pitched earlier today. No outs, 2 on. Game tied at 2. Pettit's breaking ball low and away from the righty McCoy for ball 1. McCoy 0 for 2 today. He lined out his first time up to the pitcher Gongwer and then struck out looking. He was the second batter that Pettit faced. This one off the end of the bat towards the fans behind the right side chain link fence. And the count squares, a ball and a strike. 6 hits for Goshen, 5 for TU. Each team with a pair of runs, both coming in on a single hit. As the wind starts to pick up here at Winterholder Field, blowing in from right center field. Line drive, that one will land in. Whitman with a good arm will come up throwing, and that'll hold the runners just one base. It bounces back, and then Watson makes a diving attempt and keeps that ball from bouncing to the backstop. A single by McCoy loads him up here with nobody out in the top of the 6th, and Goshen threatening to regain the lead with our game even at 2 apiece. And time will be called. You could hear them call down to the bullpen and ask if Fox was ready. He's ready to go, and he will come back in. We'll let you know what Fox did in game number 1 earlier today. He'll be the 3rd pitcher used by the Trojans. A tough spot for Fox to come into, but something that he is not unaccustomed to. Bases full, nobody out, top of the 6th, game tied at 2. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Now batting the catcher, Anthony Tadero.
First 3 men have reached base safely. An error, a walk, and a single have loaded them up for Goshen here in this top half of the 6th. They try to regain a lead with the game even at 2 apiece. The Trojans bring in their senior reliever extraordinaire, the right-hander Rob Fox. He threw just 10 pitches in our first game earlier today, saw 3 batters, gave up a hit, got a double play, and then got a ground out right back to him to seal Taylor's 4-1 Game 1 victory. He threw 28 pitches when these two teams met last night. Went 2 innings, allowed a hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. First one from Fox to Tadero. They get him to pop it up. Weiss coming in. This will be short center field. Lane now there, all the way over on the right side of second base, short enough where no one will try to advance. And a pitch and an out. 1 gone here on the top of the 6th for Goshen. Base is still full. Game still tied at 2. Pettit went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits. No runs, but he is responsible for all 3 men on base right now. He walked 1 and struck out 4, replacing the starter Gongwer. Lefty Chase Hunter up here. First one, he'll swing and miss at the slider from Fox. Fox, a big fan of Notre Dame football, also a big fan of the Indianapolis Colts, as we were talking about last night. He and I were discussing, along with Mitch Eubler, the Colts draft possibilities. And now Fox will step off, and being a big Notre Dame fan, he's a big fan of Quentin Nelson, the guard for the Irish. He wouldn't mind see him be the new guard for Colts quarterback Andrew Luck this fall. The 0-1. Swing and a miss again. Back-to-back sliders have fooled Hunter, and he trails 0-2. Hunter flew out to center his first time up, then struck out looking during the first time Pettit was on the hill. Bases full, 1 out, top of the 6th. Game even at 2 apiece. Fox out of the stretch, and the lefty Hunter will make contact and foul it back to the on-deck circle. Molson at third, McGuire at second, McCoy at first. Still no balls and 2 strikes. 1 out for Fox coming out of the bullpen. He has pitched in all 3 games against Goshen. Last night, earlier today, and then right now. Steps off the hill. He gets ready to deal home another 0-2 to Hunter. Here it comes. Ground ball up the middle. Lane to second, over to first, and that is a 6-3 double play, and Fox is pumped as he comes off the mound, and that keeps our game tied at 2 as Fox is running through all of his teammates as he comes over to the dugout to our left. We're tied at 2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Trojans will bring up Atkins, Kennedy, and Lawson after this commercial break.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
First full inning of work for Cam Nickel. He threw 1 pitch with runners at first and second an inning ago and got the last out to keep the game tied at 2. And that one's going to hit Atkins in the bicep, and he's going to jog down to first, and now he's the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th after Rob Fox came in a half inning ago with the bases full, nobody out. He got a pop out, and then a 6-3 double play to keep this game even at 2. Now the DH, Andrew Kennedy, has got the go-ahead run standing over there at first base. A critical game here for TU as they try to keep pace with the two teams ahead of them in the league standings, Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington. Curveball from the righty Nickel, in for a strike to Kennedy. Andrew 0 for 2 today, lined out to the second baseman Molson, and then struck out looking his last time up in the 4th. This is the first time he's seen Nickel today. Check over to first. Atkins dives back. No tag applied from Stoltzfus. 2-2 our score. Taylor batting here in the bottom of the 6th. Leadoff man on, and Atkins after getting hit by the first pitch he saw. That one high and inside. Kennedy will lean out of the way, and the count levels at 1-1. Kennedy 1 for 3 in our first game today. Collected a hit last night in the first game of the series against Goshen. Thought about going after the curveball and thought better of it. And the count now 2-1 in his favor. Andrew comes in batting .351 to the day. 33 hits, 9 doubles, and a pair of home runs. He's driven in 25 runs this year. A soft toss over to first from Nickel, and Atkins goes right on back to the bag. Following Kennedy will be Lawson. Game tied at 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-1. Kennedy will rip this one, but that one will be pulled foul. 2-2 the count now, and a good struck ball there from Kennedy. Taylor won game 1 today 4-1. They lost the first game of this series last night 4-3. Nickel looks over his shoulder at Atkins at first. Here comes a 2-2. Atkins goes. Kennedy swings and misses. There's a looping throw from Tadero that had no chance to get there, and now he wants to complain and say that Kennedy interfered with him. He is shut down quickly by home plate umpire Kevin Marble. But a runner in scoring position now for Jared Atkins with Brett Lawson coming up and 1 gone.
Number 15, Brett Lawson.
So Kennedy 0 for 3 today. Lawson 0 for 2, trying to get back into a groove after collecting a pair of hits in the first 2 games of the season series with Goshen. Slider in there, taken for a strike at the belt from Lawson, the third baseman. Lawson 2 for 3 with a run scored last night. 2 for 3 and an RBI in our first game today. 0 for 2 right now with a ground out and a fly out. And that one below the knees, 1-1. Nickel thought it was good enough for strike 2 as Tadero did a good job to try and frame it up. 1-1. Atkins, the leadoff man, now at second. After getting hit by a pitch, then advancing to second on a stolen base attempt. 2-2 game, bottom of the 6th. Atkins dancing off of second. Lawson will send this one high towards center field. Hustling in Longacre. A good jump, but he makes the catch for 2 gone. Lawson chucks his bat in disgust before he jogged down to first. So keeps the runner at second. 2 outs now for the freshman Tanner Colby. Lawson now 0 for 3 today here in game 2.
Number 17, Tanner Colby.
Colby batting for the 3rd time. And the go-ahead run for TU over there at second base as Molson comes in and shadows second. First one to Colby. Taken at the knees, outside half. It's 0-1 to the lefty. Atkins, the runner, with good speed at second base. 2 outs, and Colby waiting the 1-strike pitch from the right-hander Nickel. Curveball in there on the inside half this time, 0-2. Nickel appearing in his 7th game of the year. He has an 0-2 overall record. And now Brett Lawson will jog down to the bullpen to start warming up. 0-2. And that one above the letters. 1-2. Colby trying to turn the lineup over back to the top, and Wyatt Whitman. He trails in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Atkins, the go-ahead runner, standing at second base as Taylor bats in the bottom of the 6th. Colby fights this one off and stays alive. It remains 1-2. McCoy shadowing in over there at second base. With Atkins leading, 1-2. Away again, 2-2. Good eye from Colby. So Lawson warming up. Last time we saw him was in the Indiana Wesleyan series a couple of weeks ago. 2-2. Colby will swing and miss at a breaking ball inside, and both pitchers coming up strong here in the 6th. We played 6 full innings. It's 2-2 between Taylor and Goshen. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student-athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student-athletes.
We played 6 innings here from Winter Holder Field, 2-2 our score, with both pitchers coming up strong here in the 6th. Fox came in with the bases loaded, nobody out. Able to get out of the inning with nobody coming through after a pop out and a double play. Then after hitting the leadoff man in the bottom half of the 6th, Nickel then retires the next 3 men he sees. Top of the order up here for Goshen. It'll be Stoltzfus to get it going. Fox will miss low for a ball. Andrew Kennedy, the DH, still warms up in the bullpen to our left. We also saw Brett Lawson going down there and getting a couple warm-up tosses as well. Breaking ball into the zone makes it 1-1 to Stoltzfus, the first baseman. 1 for 2 today. Has been retired his last 2 times up. Now he's in danger of making it 3 in a row. Is that one a breaking ball inside half? 1-2. Singled in the first as Goshen put up their 2 runs there in the first. Strikeout and a ground out his last 2 times up. And that one at the knees, they appeal. And he went around. That's strike number 3, freezing Stoltzfus. He has not moved and now will walk to the dugout. And he is staring daggers at our field umpire, Kevin Faust. And he looks back up again right before he walks back into the dugout. A 3rd time looking in Faust's direction. A 4th time before he steps into the dugout. 1 gone here in the top of the 7th. So 1 out, and that'll bring up Longacre, the center fielder. Inside pitch, and Fox will paint it to the corner for a strike. Longacre 2 for 3. Singles his first 2 times up, and then struck out against Pettit back in the 5th. Second one, he'll lift this one up to short right field. Atkins going back, now he comes forward, and there are 2 outs here in the 7th for Goshen. So Fox has been stellar since coming in an inning ago, trying to keep it rolling here against the power-hitting DH, Clinton Strobel. Strobel has reached base safely his last 2 times up, even though he's 1 for 3. Swings and misses, almost took the batting helmet right off of his own head. He swung so hard, it's 0-1. Struck out at swinging his first time up, reached on a fielder's choice in the third, and then singled with 2 outs against Pettit in the 5th. 2 outs, no one on here in the 7th, and that one low, bouncing in to even it up at a ball and a strike. So Kennedy's warm-up has come to a close over there in the bullpen to our left. With 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, nobody on, game still even at 2 runs apiece. 1-1. Strobel will swing and miss again at the breaking ball. 1-2. Second inning of work for Fox. He's retired 4 batters in a row. The 1-2. This one lifted down the left field line, and that one will curl foul. Landing right on the top of the chain link fence and then bouncing to the left. Nobody on, 2 outs. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Strobel. Righty on righty. Fox deals off the end of the bat, and Strobel will stay alive, fouling this one to the parking lot. Sixth pitch of the at bat upcoming right here. 1-2 to Strobel. Fox delivers. Way away, and Strobel watched it bounce in there to make it 2-2. Top of the order up here in the top of the 7th for Goshen. The same thing will hold true for Taylor in the home half of the 7th. The 2-2, Fox trying to get him there. Bounces that one in, and it'll be a full count. Fox came in the 6th with nobody out, bases full. A pop out and a double play to keep the game tied at 2. He's got a strikeout and a fly out here so far in the 7th, trying to retire Strobel. He frantically waits for time, and he will receive it. He did that same try to get a timeout or a time called last night. They didn't get it and had to take a swinging strike. Payoff pitch, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Inside, and that one will be ball 4. Strobel reaches base safely for the 3rd time. So that brings up Ryan Hardig. With Strobel, the runner, over at first. He's the go-ahead runner with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Wind blowing in from right center field. And Fox delivers to Hardig. Down the middle, taken for a strike. Hardig 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out here in game 2. Second pitch. Ground ball to the right side. There's Colby. He'll backhand it over to Lane, who reaches up and makes the play at second for out number 3. We hit the stretch with the game tied at 2. Top of the order coming up for the Trojans, Whitman, Lane, and Taggart. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
When it comes to watching sports, there's no telling what you'll hear.
No.
But when a fan orders Pizza Hut for the game, they know exactly what they're getting.
Oh, nice.
Pizza, wings, as well as sides and desserts are all available at pizzahut.com or at their location in Gas City. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Whitman leads things off here in the top of the 7th. First one a called strike. And then it'll be Lane and Taggart to follow. Second one will bounce it away, 1-1. Game tied at 2 as Taylor bats here in the bottom of the 7th. Sam Weiss tied it up in the bottom of the 3rd with a 2 RBI bases loaded single. Since then, just 3 hits for the Trojans. Whitman, though, says, I've had enough of no-hitting here in the contest. And he rips one to left field. He's the go-ahead runner over at first for Josh Lane to follow him. First hit that Nichols allowed since coming in with 2 outs and men at first and second in the bottom of the 5th. So Josh Lane trying to get going here. 0 for 5 last night, 3 for 4 in the first game today. Whitman heads down to second, bunt right up the third baseline. McGuire looks to second, a high throw, gets away, and it rolls all the way to the right side fence. Whitman coming around from third, no throw in time. Whitman will score standing up, and Lane is over at third, and the Trojans take a 3-2 lead here with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th as McGuire's woes at third continue here in Saturday afternoon. A bunt from Lane, a high throw from McGuire over Stoltzfus's head. It rolls all the way to the chain link fence. And a throwing error from McGuire, the second miscue in the field today for Goshen. And Taylor up 4, it's up 3-2 here on the bottom of the 7th. And Josh Lane stands at third with new juice brought to those cheering on the young men wearing purple and white today. Curveball, Taggart takes it for a strike. Taggart 1 for 3, getting a single his last time up. Pop up, left side, foul ground. McGuire hustling, diving, won't get it. Nothing in 2 to Nathan Taggart. Before that single his last time up, he had gone 0 for 9 to lead this series off. Infield playing in, anticipating a potential bunt with no one out for Taggart. 0-2. Swings and misses at the curveball. He's down on strikes. 1 gone for Taylor here in the home half of the 7th. Good pitch there from Nickel for his first strikeout. Make it his 3rd here since coming in. So 1 out, and Tanner Watson will come up. And Watson, who after being in a rut for a while, has reached base safely all 3 times he's been to the plate today. That one will bounce away from Tadero. He keeps it within striking distance, and so Lane will stay over there at third. Tanner ended game 1 with a double. It's picked right up here in game 2. Single, walk, and single his 3 times at the dish here in the second contest with Goshen here on a Saturday afternoon. Infield still playing in. Another low pitch makes it 2-0. The throwing error from McGuire at third base after a leadoff single from Wyatt Whitman. Went all the way to the chain link fence on the far right side of the park. Has put Taylor back in front for the first time today, 3-2 here in game 2. And now it's 3-0 to Watson with Sam Weiss, who tied the game at 2 in the 3rd, waiting on deck. Weiss and head coach Kyle Gould have a brief talk before the 3-0 to Watson. Here it comes. And low. Oh, my goodness. That one must have just hit the barely part of Tanner's now incredibly growing knees and the inside part of the plate. 1 strike to Watson. Kennedy and Lawson now warming up in the Taylor pen. Trojans back in front, 3-2. Or leading for the first time today, 3-2. 3-1 to Watson. Infield playing in again with Lane over there at third base. Ground ball, high hopper left side. McGuire fields will try to get the out at home. Sliding in his Lane. Safe! He a head first slide from Josh Lane, avoiding the tag from Tadero. And that brings the Goshen head coach Alex Childers sprinting out of the dugout and getting right into the face of home plate umpire Kevin Marble. Lane just got in before the tag applied by Tadero. Watson safe at first, and the Trojans lead 4-2, and now Childers has been tossed. And he reignites his argument with Kevin Marble, the home plate umpire. And so the 6th-year head man for Goshen, Alex Childers, has been excused from our future proceedings here today. So it's Kelsheimer pinch running for Watson over at first. As Lane slides in on the high hopper from McGuire at third. He has been involved in both scoring plays for Taylor here in this bottom of the 7th. An error put Taylor up 3-2. And then the throw that was on the money, Tadero just couldn't get the tag down in time. As our field umpire, Kevin Faust, will lead Goshen head coach Alex Childers out of the complex. 1 out, Taylor with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. They lead 4-2. For Sam Weiss, who tied this game at a pair apiece in the 3rd inning. A look over from Nickel will send Kelsheimer back to first. Weiss shows bunt. It pops out of the glove of Tadero. And it's taken in there for a strike. A strike to Weiss. This one out to the parking lot to our right. And it's 0-2. Sam 1 for 3 today. That one hit a big one, tying the game at 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. 2 runs home for Taylor here in the 7th. 1 out, and Kelsheimer standing at first. He'll go down to second. Curveball, a throw down to second. Sliding in is Kelsheimer in time, and he takes second base. On a good tag applied by the second baseman, Molson. Second stolen base for TU here today, their second one of the series. And a runner back in scoring position. 1-2 the count to Sam Weiss here at home plate. Jared Atkins waiting on deck for TU. Brett Lawson warming up in the bullpen to our left. And now Weiss will step out, and both he and Nickel try to figure everything out. A ball and 2 strikes to Weiss, and that was going to hit him right in the backside. So Nichols' command steps away for a moment. Now first and second here for Jared Atkins. No one warming up in the bullpen to our right. Head coach Alex Childers has been tossed. And so a mound meeting here from one of his assistants here at the infield. Goshen will look back at life there in the top of the 6th with the bases loaded and nobody out. And if the score holds true here at the end of the day, they will be kicking themselves looking back at the bases loaded. No outs in the 6th inning. So 2 out, or 1 on and 2, 1 out and 2 on, I should say, for Jared Atkins. Second hit by pitch by Nickel. And so Jared 0 for 2 today after being hit by a pitch his last time up. Four to 2 the Taylor lead. 2 runs home here in the 7th. Atkins going after that first one and popping it up and foul. Jared 1 for 3 in our first game today. He was 0 for 3 in the game with the Maple Leafs last night. Kelsheimer at second. Weiss dancing off of first. 0-1 curveball. They get Atkins to pop it up. Foul territory, curling back, and that one will send some of the patrons scampering for safety. 0-2 to Atkins. After a throwing error on the Josh Lane contact to McGuire at third, Whitman came around to score. giving Taylor a 3-2 lead. Then an infield knock from Watson to McGuire at third again. His throw to home. Tadero applied the tag. Couldn't get it down on lane as he dove head first and put Taylor up 4-2. Weiss then was hit. He now stands at first. Atkins to left. That one might go over the head of Herdig, and it does. Rolling all the way to the fence. Kelsheimer and Weiss in their own foot race with themselves. It's a stand-up 2 RBI double for last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year, Jared Atkins. And the Trojans have put up a 4 spot here in the bottom of the 7th and lead 6-2 with 1 out over Goshen. So Andrew Kennedy remains as the DH. And now Chandler Engel, who we saw in relief in the game 1 earlier today, now makes his way down to the Goshen bullpen to start warming up. 4 runs home here for Taylor in the bottom of the 7th. They have gone up 6-2. Kennedy will swing and miss mightily. And it's a strike for the DH. Andrew 0 for 3 today. 2 strikeouts his last time up. Lined out to the second baseman, Molson, his first time up here in game 2. Atkins a big lead. Now he's going to head down to third. Hit and run is on to the left side, right to the shortstop, McCoy. The throw over to first. This time it's in the range of Stoltzfus for out number 2, but Atkins going right before the pitch was thrown. He's safe in at third for Brett Lawson, the third baseman. So Wyatt Whitman got this inning off with a single to left. The throwing error from McGuire on the contact from the next batter, Lane. Scored Whitman from first, put Lane over at third. A strikeout from Taggart, and then the fielder's choice with Watson hit it right to McGuire at third. Tag not in time, and Lane home safe. And now Atkins, who stands at second, had a 2 RBI double to give Taylor the 6-2 lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lawson, the 8th batter of the inning for TU. First one a ball, he's 0 for 3 in game 2. And the second one low and away as well, 2-0. Tanner Colby waits on deck. 2-0. Lawson trying to go opposite way with it. Curling to the right corner. Hunter hustling after that one goes off his glove, but they'll say he made contact with it in foul territory. As he just leapt for it off the end of the glove. If that one would have been ruled fair, Lawson would still be running. Instead, it's strike number 1 to 15 in purple. Chase Hunter has made some nice plays over there at right, and if you could have converted on that one, it would have been the prettiest one he's made today. 2 balls and a strike to Lawson. Christian McGill will pinch hit for Colby. He stands on deck if Lawson can reach here. 2 outs. Atkins over at third. Ground ball up the middle. McCoy at short. Turns on the Jets fields. Whips a sidearm throw. Pulls Stoltzfus off the bag. Not in time. And Atkins will score from third. Lawson safe at first. And it's a 7-2 Taylor lead. 5 runs here for the home team in the bottom of the 7th. So Lawson at first, 2 outs for Christian McGill, the pinch hitter. Five runs for Taylor here in the bottom of the 7th. A big swing there from McGill, and he misses to go down 0-1. McGill comes in batting .273. 9 hits, a double and a triple to his name this year. And that one's going to hit him in the shoulder. So the Trojans will bat around here in the bottom of the 7th. They'll bring up the man that got the inning going in left fielder Wyatt Whitman with 2 on. They'll bring a new pitcher on here to face Wyatt Whitman. 5 runs in here for the Trojans in the bottom of the 7th. They've gone from tied at 2 to up 7-2. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Kyle Kotecki, the 6-foot left-hander, now in for Goshen, as his team now trailing by 5 here in the bottom of the 7th. All 5 runs unearned, all sent to Cam Nickel. And then Whitman will pop this one up with 2 outs. Center field area, Molson, the second baseman there, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So Trojans able to bat around here in the 7th, but they put up 5 here in the inning, and they now lead 7-2 as we head to the 8th. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com. Andrew Kennedy now on for TU to pitch. He's the 4th arm used by the Trojans today. He'll face the second baseman, Colby Molson, to start in the first one. He's in the zone for a strike. It'll be Molson, McGuire, and Cody McCoy. Kennedy, a 2-1 overall record, a 4.02 ERA, dribbler right side. There's Taggart. He'll underhand to Kennedy, who scampers over to first. And there's one gone. A 5 spot for Taylor in the bottom of the 7th, and they now lead 7-2 for the first time here in the second game of our doubleheader. Kennedy a 1.28 whip, 1 save, making his 12th appearance. And now he faces the third baseman, Cody McGuire. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. McGuire just one official at bat today. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. There's one pulled to the left side. That one will bounce foul. 0-2 with 1 out, nobody on. And Goshen batting here in the top half of the 8th. Third one, fastball away, 1-2. Kennedy was throwing in the upper 80s to touching 90 during the fall. And that breaking ball low, even it up at 2-2. Fifth one from Kennedy. That one away, it'll make it full. McGuire trying to walk for the 3rd time today. He was 1 for 3 with a run batted in to get Goshen their only run back in the first game of the doubleheader today. Payoff pitch from Kennedy. Right at the knees low for ball number 4, and that will put McGuire on at first with 1 gone. Taylor's turned 1 double play today. That came with 1 out, and the base is full in the 6th. Here's one to the left side. Lawson charges. He won't be able to turn 2, so he'll get the out at first. And Taggart comes up, making sure that McGuire stays over there at second. 2 outs, top of the 8th here for Goshen. Nolan Holcomb will pinch hit here. He pinch hit in game number 1, went 0 for 1. He pinch hits for Anthony Tadero, who's 1 for 3 today. 2 outs, a runner at second. Goshen batting in the top of the 8th, down by 5. And Kennedy comes inside for a called strike. Eight hits for TU, 7 runs. They were aided by that big throwing error to put them up 3-2. Second one blows it right by a swinging Holcomb, and it's 0-2. A runner at second, the 0-2 from Kennedy. And that one above the letters, fastball, 1-2. Taylor down by 2 after the first. They tied it in the 3rd. Then that was the bottom of the 5th, or bottom of the 6th, excuse me. Goshen loaded him up with no outs. Rob Fox came in, got out of the jam, faced 2 batters, a pop out and a double play. And then the Trojans put up 5 a half inning ago, and now they're ahead by 5. 4th one outside the zone to make it 2-2. First inning of work for Kennedy out of the pen, the starting DH today. And that one to the outside corner freezes Holcomb for strike 3. And that will send us to the bottom of the 8th with Taylor still leading 7-2. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965 when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Fourth pitcher in here for Goshen as Taylor leads off in the bottom of the 8th with Josh Lane. Came around to score the 4th run of the day for the Trojans. Slid in head first, got in there right before the tag from the catcher Tadero. And now Lane will send this one to deep left field, but jogging back and making an easy catch is Hardig for out number 1. That slide into home is what got Goshen head coach Alex Childers tossed from today's proceedings. The new pitcher is Cameron Engel, Chandler Engel, excuse me. We saw him in game number 1. First one low to Taggart for a ball. Engel came into the day with a 5.87 ERA. He went 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, no runs in the opener today, and also struck out 2 in 2 innings of work in our 7-inning game number 1. 2-0 to Taggart, and that one floats in to make it 2-1. Nathan 1 for 4 here in game 2. With a single back in the 5th. Curveball, bouncing in short, 3-1. Five-run lead for Taylor in the bottom of the 8th. That'll be a walk as Taggart will jog down to first. Kelsheimer will walk out of the dugout, and he will run for Taggart over at first. So it's Kyle Kelsheimer coming in to run for Nathan Taggart after the 1-out walk. And that'll bring up Tanner Watson, the catcher. Taylor up by 5 here, batting in the bottom of the 8th. Trojans need to win both of these games today to keep pace with Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington in the league standings. They'll have a doubleheader with Huntington on Wednesday to wrap up that season series. They won the first game earlier this week. Kelsheimer, big lead over at first. Slapping at it left side, McGuire fields. High throw to second, they get the out there. They won't be able to turn 2. And so Tanner Watson safe at first on the fielder's choice. And Jonathan Foster has come in to pinch run for Watson over at first base. 2 outs for the center fielder, Sam Weiss. Back over to first. And Foster dives back in time. 5 runs for TU in the bottom of the 7th. They now lead 7-2. That one will bounce away from the catcher, Tadero. Ball 1 to Samuel Weiss. Sam 1 for 3 today, but that one hit a big one. Tied the game at 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Then he got hit by a pitch in the 7th as Taylor scored 5 runs an inning ago to break a 2-all tie. First one a ball to Sam Weiss. Engel waiting, head nodding, pitching, and throwing a strike. Jared Atkins waits on deck. Had a 2 RBI double his last time up in the 7th. 1-1, runner goes from first. Check swing, it'll be a strike. That's an off-target throw that will bounce into center field, and now here comes Foster hustling over to third. On the throwing error from Tadero, the catcher, that's the 3rd error of the day for Goshen. And a 1-2 count for Sam Weiss at the plate with 2 outs. And the potential 8th run of the day for TU standing 90 feet away. One and 2 the count to Sam Weiss. 2 outs, bottom of 8. The breaking ball away. It will be not called by Tadero, but the bounce will ricochet off of Weiss and remain within the home plate area. Count even up, 2-2. Taylor ahead by 5, bottom of 8. Engel out of the stretch. Curveball. Weiss will miss it. It'll bounce away from Tadero. Foster will score in standing up. And no throw down to first on the drop third strike. So Weiss is safe, even though it'll go down as a strikeout. And Taylor now up 8-2 here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs for Jared Atkins. Fastball in there high from Engel. Ball 1. Jared has reached base safely his last 2 times up, getting hit by a pitch, and then the 2 RBI double that we mentioned. 1 for 3 on the day overall. Second one, curveball down the middle. Called for strike 1. Atkins steps out of the box and steps back in. With Weiss over at first, increasing that lead. Third one, and Atkins will pop it up, and it'll go foul to the parking lot. A ball and 2 strikes. Taylor ahead by 5. Make it 6 here in the bottom of the 8th. After Kelsheimer scores on the drop third strike. Or Megan Foster, excuse me, scores on the drop third strike. And the curveball in there. Dangerously close to strike 3, and now the count evens up at 2-2. The pitcher Andrew Kennedy waits on deck. Check over to first. That one will bounce away. Back over to first, stepping back is Weiss. Sam 7 for 10 on stolen bases this season. And Taylor ahead by 6 here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Here goes Weiss. Curveball high, ball 3. Throw down from Tadero, high again. And Weiss slides underneath the tag of the second baseman, Molson. So runners back in scoring position here for TU. Last 6 runs for the Trojans, all have been unearned. Full count to Atkins. Weiss, his classmate, standing at second. The 2 seniors trying to increase the 8-2 Taylor advantage. Atkins will send that one back to the screen. Another 3-2. Atkins will line this one up to deep left center field. Longacre going back. He's at the warning track, and he makes the catch right in front of that scoreboard in left center field. We've played 8 innings of baseball here from Winterholder Field. Taylor 3 outs away from taking the season series from Goshen. They're ahead 8-2 as we head to the 9th. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojans Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities and larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Taylor 3 outs away from completing the doubleheader sweep and also taking the season series from Goshen. They won Game 1 earlier today 4-1. They lost the game last night 4-3. They're up 8-2 here as we start the top of the ninth. Ground ball to Colby at second. From Hunter, the right fielder, over to first, and there's quickly 1 out. It's Andrew Kennedy back on the mound trying to wrap this one up. He's the 4th pitcher used by the Trojans today. We go back to the top and Stoltzfus. However, since he had that go-ahead 2-run homer last night, has been struggling to find his way at the plate. Going 0 for 3 in the first game today with 2 strikeouts. And he's 1 for 4 today with a pair of Ks as well. And then Kennedy fires an inside fastball for a strike to start the at-bat off. 7 hits for Goshen today. None since the 6th when they loaded him up with no outs and were unable to bring anybody across when the game was still even at 2. Kennedy now ahead, 0-2. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the ninth. The pitch to the outside part of the plate, fastball makes it 1-2. As music pours in from the plaza behind right center field where the student center is located. Kennedy shakes off the first one. He'll deal home the second one. This one popped up towards Weiss in center. Right underneath, they'll jog forward, and there are 2 outs in the top of the ninth for Goshen. Their last hope is going to be Ben Longacre, their center fielder. Longacre started this second game off really strong with back-to-back singles. He also scored what has now been the last run of the day for Goshen, the second run back in the first. Breaking ball inside Kennedy for a called strike on the slider. The last 2 times has been a strikeout and a fly out to right for Longacre. Second one from Kennedy. Back to the slider. This one could end it. They send it out to Whitman and left. He's underneath. And the Trojans will take a Game 2 win today, 8-2. They sweep the doubleheader and take the season series from Goshen 2-1. We'll come back here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show. We'll hear from the boss man, Kyle Gould, and we'll wrap this one up when we come back after this commercial break. This has been Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Ivanhoe's postgame show coming up next.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Welcome back here inside the press box here at Winter Holder Field. Rick Johnston joined by a pair of Goulds. It's head coach Kyle Gould and your daughter Penelope, and she's the one that makes all the decisions to come up with wins, right?
Yeah, well, it's fun
Something
to have
like
her out
that.
here. Yeah, she's having a good time.
You guys will go run the bases afterwards, but let's talk about the two
She'll
games.
run the bases. To be very clear, I'm not running the bases.
You're just going to watch?
Yeah, I'll walk next to her.
Well, Coach Larry Winterholder's down here. You don't want to recreate the playing days with the boss down there?
He saw enough of me playing to know it didn't need to continue. That's for sure.
There's no film. We can't dig that up or anything?
I hope not. I hope not.
Let's talk about this second game here. You guys are in a real bind there. Bases loaded, nobody out. And you bring in your senior reliever, Rob Fox, gets a pop out and then a double play, and then that just sets you guys up for the end of the game. What was it like to bring in Rob? He's now pitched the last 2 days in the last 3 games in a row.
Yeah, Rob is the ultimate competitor, and there isn't a situation he never blinks at all. And so, yeah, I mean, he competes so well and so hard, and he gives our team such a lift. And it's not that we were flat; we just couldn't get anything going on offense. And so we didn't have much life, and he just brings a lot of life, and he lives for those big moments. I think if we put him in with like nobody on, nobody out, he wouldn't know what to do. So
he needs a little something going on, right? Some stress in the air.
Yeah, he's had an incredible career doing just that.
Let's go to game 1. Your pitcher, Luke Shively, man, this guy continues to impress. 6-0 now. He was really dealing. They retired 12 guys in a row at one point. Obviously gave up that double there, so it took away going for the complete game. But Luke really gives you a really big spot there in the first game and really kind of sets you guys going there for the whole day, I think.
Yeah, he was fantastic today. His velocity was really good. He had both of his breaking pitches working, and we needed a deep start. With all how backed up we are. Really. For me, the bright spot of the weekend is our young pitching. I mean, Mitch was just sophomore. Luke was fantastic. Justin Pettit was really good today. Cole last week at Huntington. And Drake, for not pitching well, he settled in after that first inning. His pitch count got a little high. But I thought our young pitchers were fantastic. And then our senior one, too, with Rob. And Andrew came in at the end, too. I just think we have a whole host of talented young pitchers.
And then you guys get 5 there in the bottom of the 7th. Wyatt starts that inning off with a single, and then everything just gets kind of crazy. They throw the ball to the fence. Wyatt comes around to score, and then just how smart of a baseball player is Josh Lane. He slides in at the very back edge of home plate, and then you guys are just rolling from there. Yeah,
when we get not just because we're fast. When we get on base, it sounds really obvious. When we're on base, we're really good because we have good base runners. We have fast plays. Josh had that play in the first game where he tagged from first. I mean, there was just some great base running plays. Just we weren't very good on offense this series. Not near as good as we should have been, to be honest. And so we were just scuffling a little bit, but our defense was great. Wyatt's catch, we're down 2-0, and he makes a catch to save 2 runs. I mean, if that gets to 4-0, I don't know what happened. So that was a big play. Brad had the one error, but man, he makes play after play. Laner made a great play, a big double play. Colby had a big double play. So there was a lot of good things. We just weren't as good offensively as we would like to be.
You guys will get a day off tomorrow, and then you head up to Huntington for a doubleheader on Monday. Had to feel pretty good after bouncing back from a rough night, and obviously something to work on, but a rough night for you guys here, and you come back and get 2 big wins here at your home field.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, big picture, we did win 5 out of 6 this week, so it's not like it's a terrible week. Baseball's a hard game, and with all these games backed up, I just told him last night, like the standings, all this stuff doesn't matter. We just got to play better, and we got to do that. So be a big day Monday, and look forward to it.
Kyle, thanks for the time. Good luck Monday.
Appreciate it, Rick.
That's the head coach, Kyle Gould, joining us here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show. Taylor will come away with the Game 2 win by a final of 8-2. 7 hits for the Goshen Maple Leafs, 3 errors, and 9 runners left on the Trojans. 8 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and they stranded 10 here in the game today. Getting the win, Rob Fox goes 2 innings. I have Rob down for a walk. He does have a walk. Excuse me. Rob went 2 innings, no hits, no runs, a walk, a strikeout. But the biggest thing Rob did all day, as you just mentioned with the head coach, came in there with nobody out, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th, game tied at 2. He gets a pop out to Lane at short, then he gets a double play to end it, and then the Trojans roll in from there. They would put up 5 in the bottom of the 7th to win today's game by a final of 8-2. With the win, Taylor improves to 34-10 on the year. They're now 14-5 in the Crossroads League, and they improved to 22-2 here at home this year. Special thanks to Liam, our producer here on site today. As always, the executive producer of the Trojan Sports Network is Cameron Andre. We wish him good luck and the men's golf team good luck at this weekend's Crossroads League Championships, which will start on Monday. We'll talk to you next Thursday for Taylor baseball when they start their 3-game series against St. Francis. We will have Taylor softball coming up here on the Trojan Sports Network. That comes up on Tuesday. Taylor takes a doubleheader sweep today, winning Game 1 4-1. They win Game 2 8-2. This has been a presentation of Taylor baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.